this is Dave from Net4Truth USA, Whirlwind, the Revolt. It is July 6th, 2019. And my previous two reports on the California earthquakes, I believe, are looking more and more like they are man-made earthquakes. Too many tremors in one place for it to be anything else. Because when you have a quake, usually it's the relief of some tension between some tectonic plates, and it happens once, twice, maybe 3 or 4 times, but it does not happen a dozen times within 2 days. I think that's unprecedented. I'm not a seismologist, but I think that that is highly suspicious with the lack of scientific evidence to prove why or to explain why you would have a dozen earthquakes in a single day ranging from 4.2 to 7.1. Okay, well, let's get that. Now that I got that out of the way, the real purpose of this video is a lesson in the law. Everybody thought that somebody, including me, everybody thought that July 1st was going to be some major reveal or some major event to take place with the demise of the deep state, and we see nothing that is really revealed in the alternative media or in the mainstream media that would lead anyone to believe that that has occurred. However, we don't know what we don't know. And I, after 3.5 years of doing this, I'm getting a little bit, I wouldn't say a little bit, I would say a lot disappointed that none of these high-profile people have been arrested. Not to say that there's not people being arrested. There's a lot of people being arrested for a lot of crazy shit, including the person that was third in line for the presidency under the fake President Obama administration being caught with child pornography and child trafficking and all that kind of stuff, Nexium, the whole nine. Okay? Let me explain something to you about the law. There is a thing called the Statute of Limitations. And that is put in place for one very good reason. Cases cannot be brought against someone if witnesses die, witnesses forget. It's been too long ago. Let bygones be bygones, that type of shit. There's only 2 exceptions. One is murder, and the other is treason. No statute of limitations on either one of those. Now, murder and treason notwithstanding, all of the other crimes that you could possibly list have a statute of limitation in one form or another, and it differs in every state. So I'm going to give you an example of a case that cannot be brought. Say you beat up on your wife, and it was 10 years ago. And this allegedly happened in a state that has a 5-year statute of limitations on assault, and it varies from state to state. After 5 years, they can have a video of you beating up your wife, and you still cannot be prosecuted because the statute of limitations has run out. Now, the video being proof thereof, video is the best evidence you can have because videos don't lie. Except for deepfake videos, which can be proven very easily by forensics that are deepfakes. But be that as it may, as the law stands, a person cannot be prosecuted in that state with a 5-year statute of limitations. However, if there is a pattern of assaults against this woman that is being beat up, the person can be prosecuted for crimes going back to the beginning of when the assaults started. It's called continuing injury. And I'm aiming this precisely at some little son of a bitch who thought he got over 22 years ago. Take this with a grain of salt. You know who you are. I got you, boy. I got you. Now, let's just say that the reason for the statute of limitations has been nullified by some new technology. For example, DNA. DNA is irrefutable evidence of something happening. If someone murders somebody and leaves a bit of his blood by wielding the knife, which was a murder weapon, cut himself, and he got a couple of drops there and there, okay? And even today, they can go through and say, well, is this DNA in the database? Is this somebody that we already have on file arrested for something else that we can now go pick him up for this murder because he was at the scene? Pending that, how about this? How about this shit? You take that DNA, might not be in the police database, might not be in the forensic database, might not be in CODIS, but could be, might be, perhaps it is in the database of somebody who used 23andMe or Ancestry.com. And this, my friends, is the way to get around it. They'll take that DNA, if they don't find it in their police database, and the way they normally look for, they'll take it and submit it as an ancestry claim or something. Let's find out if this guy is not in the database himself, maybe his mother, his father, his uncle, his great-nephew, or whatever, and we'll trace it back from there. Okay? So that technology, once you find a guy whose blood is at the crime scene, and it matches him, or matches somebody you can trace back to him, negates the purpose of the statute of limitations. You don't need any witnesses. All you need is somebody to say that his blood was at the crime. This is where we found the blood. This is where he was. He stabbed somebody 97 times, and in the process, he cut himself and left some of his blood there. And when we find this guy, we know who he did it because his blood was on the crime scene. And with the odds of 100 billion to 1, what more proof do you need? Okay? That's one thing. The other thing is continuing injury. A pattern of abuse that continues can be prosecuted for each individual instance of that crime going back to the beginning because it is a continuing injury. Some damage that was done to your reputation or to your name or to your criminal record or whatever the hell it is can be prosecuted back to the beginning even though the statute of limitations ran out because you're still suffering from that initial injury. You follow me? Okay. What does that mean for the deep state? For the deep state, prosecutions for treason notwithstanding, and prosecutions for murder or contract to murder, which is the same thing, notwithstanding, all of the other lesser crimes can be prosecuted if it can be proven that the crimes continue. RICO Act. Racketeer influenced corrupt organization can be prosecuted under the RICO Act because a RICO charge means that this is an enterprise that's based on a continuing set of crimes going back to wherever or whenever. So if you did a bank robbery 27 years ago and it's part of the same criminal enterprise, you can be prosecuted for that bank robbery even though the statute of limitation ran out 20 years ago. If you are operating a pay-for-play scheme that takes money from foreign entities to have access to officials in the United States government or favors from those officials in the United States government, and you've been doing it for 30 years, you can be prosecuted for a crime that happened 30 years ago because you're still doing the same shit today. And I want to throw something else in there for that very special person. Black's Law Dictionary, Volume 5, says the phrase free to leave means not under arrest. You think I don't know? Your ass is mine, asshole. Your ass is mine. The worst thing you can do is to get on the side of somebody who never lets go. There's an old Arab saying says that the best revenge is served on a cold plate. And I believe that one day soon, John F. Kennedy Jr. is going to materialize. And he's going to serve up some revenge on a cold plate that people are not going to believe. I believe Seth Rich is still alive. And he's going to serve up some evidence that will take these people down. Now, you got to remember, you can't take them one down at a time. Because it's like turning on the light in the kitchen at night when you're going for a midnight snack and you got roaches in the house. They'll all scatter. So what you got to do is you got to spray the raid with the lights off, if you get my drift. Spray the raid with the lights off. That's what's happening. And like you said, disinformation sometimes is necessary, even to people who are patriots. Because plausible denial involves people who are close to you believing what you tell them. Is this a tertiary plan to bullshit us into a third world dictatorship type new world order? I don't think so. I don't think Trump plays that bullshit. I think he's playing it very close, and the 2020 election is going to be won in an even bigger landslide than the last one. This is Dave from Net4 Truth USA, Whirlwind, Revolt. Thank you very much for watching, and if you can, please support us. Make sure you're still subscribed and manually share these videos with all your friends because Google ain't helping us. I guarantee you they're not helping us. Thank you much. Please subscribe to our backup channels, Whirlwind Revolt, Inglorious Patriots, and Net4 Truth USA 2 Patriot channel. You can also find us at Net4 Truth USA on BitChute. We fly so close to the target, we're on our 4th fighter jet. We will be relentless truth seekers until the enemies of freedom are defeated. You can support this channel by using the links in the description, but for a $100 donation, I will personally send you a autographed hardcover special edition copy of Land of Childhood's Fears. Also, visit my bookstore at lulu.com/Net4TruthUSA. If you are viewing this video on BitChute, you can use the links in the description to support us, or simply click the green $ dot on our video to support this channel. Thank you. Links are in the description section.